Chapter 12. It's a knockout. With their plan intact, Bouncer and Graham were lying in wait in the Corunna facility car park. Fortunately, both the targets they had identified, David Mason and Leslie Cross, were leaving the laboratory at the same time, and more fortunately still, they were heading for the same car, a car which in this case would be not quite what they expected. The reason for this imminent surprise was what the two janitors thought would be their car, was now in fact Graham, wearing a very convincing nanotech disguise. Bouncer and Graham had been lying in wait earlier that day, when one of them had arrived, and spotted which car their target was driving. Graham had then done his best toilet face until he perfectly matched it. With Graham in position, Bouncer had then committed Grand Theft Auto, and took the car and dumped it near their base. Communicating by nanotech, the two lay in wait. "How far away are they?" asked Graham. 100 meters or so, replied Bouncer. "You ready?" "Yes, I'll wait for them to get in and drive off, and then you'll follow. We'll get to where they live and you'll take the one that gets out and I'll cover the driver." "Precisely, Graham, then we can coordinate and come back tomorrow as them and we're in." Graham could almost hear Bouncer laughing as he summarized their plan. About 2 minutes later, both the front seats of Graham were occupied and the driver was heading out of the car park, their shadow intact. It was not many minutes till Graham came to a stop, but rather than just one person getting out, they both did. "What do I do now, Bouncer?" asked Graham. "We'll have to go with the flow and hope it doesn't diverge too far," replied Bouncer. "Righto, as you're here I'll follow your lead," said Graham. With both the janitors now walking towards the front door, Graham and Bouncer shifted into human form and stealthily walked up behind them. As the door opened and they started to cross the threshold, Bouncer and Graham crowded in behind them and knocked the pair unconscious. Bouncer and Graham picked up the unconscious David and Leslie and moved them into the lounge. Soon they were safely tied up, and still blissfully unaware of their predicament. "So who's going to be who?" asked Graham. "I don't mind," said Bouncer. "Who do you want to be?" "I don't mind either. Shall we flip a coin?" "Okay, I choose heads," said Bouncer. A collection of nanotech manifested itself into a medium-sized coin in Graham's hand. Graham flipped, and when it landed it was tails. He smiled as he said to Bouncer, "Would you like a hand with your zip?" "Ha ha!" laughed Bouncer as his nanotech finally took the form of Leslie. "Right then, let's find out as much as we can about these two. There must be something here to work with." For the rest of the evening, as the real Dave and Leslie slept quietly in the lounge, Bouncer and Graham got used to their new forms while they looked everywhere for pointers to tomorrow's infiltration. It turned out Dave and Leslie were just starting out on a relationship. Recent pictures of them showed the blossoming happiness they shared. Luckily for Bouncer and Graham, Leslie kept a journal in her bag that outlined most of what they needed, nothing top secret, just enough to get them in without raising too many suspicions.